Hey folks, and welcome back again to the Steal These Thoughts podcast. And this week I am talking about what seems to be my favorite topic of 2021 so far, and that is evolving our digital skills for lifelong employability. Now, if you're already part of the newsletter community, if you've been following my YouTube channel, you would have seen me pumping out a lot of content recently around digital skills. What I recommend you do before listening to this podcast, or if you have already, that's great. Go to my YouTube channel. You can just find out on Steal These Thoughts or find it on the website as well, and watch the 5-minute video that I've put together with research from a number of companies focused on digital skills and why we need them for the future of work, because it's super important. And when you've done that, come back, do it after the podcast, whatever it takes your fancy. But today I want to delve a little bit deeper into some of the thoughts that I have been sharing recently, because I've been really investigating more in this space purely because I am a massive techie geek, and I've always been super curious about learning how to use new tech and especially workplace technology, and that's always kind of been an advantage for me in my career. But what I've always seen kind of across my 15 years is the lack of investment from 90% of the population in really understanding basic technology and how to use applications to improve their work and life. Now, with the pandemic, there has evidently been an acceleration of digital tool adoption, which in turn has meant that loads of us have had to upgrade our skills. Now, some of us have done better than others with that, but a lot of us are still kind of hanging and not too sure how to use tools to their full capacity. The problem with this now is because we've spent the last, nearly 18 months now working remotely using all of these tools. A lot of jobs now, and even before the pandemic, require people to have baseline proficiency with digital tools. I am not talking about high level stuff here. So I'm not looking at data science or any of that kind of like what you'd call top level stuff or coding. This is real basic stuff. And you'll hear me kind of go into this as we go through. But look, if you've seen the video or a lot of my work already, you know the kind of scale of the problem that we have on our hands. All of our companies need digital skills. It is the kind of future of making sure we're going to be productive, we can perform to a high level, and anyone at different workplaces are going to need to have the right skills to use tools. We can see in the job market, this is specifically looking at the UK, almost 80% of current roles on the market today require baseline digital skills. But the big problem we have in the UK market, as an example, is that a lot of organizations are not confident that schools are doing enough to teach these skills. And I am pretty sure of that as well. I have been out the schooling system for a long time. But even today, from people I don't think a lot of the baseline stuff is being covered. The other issue we've got as well, that in my field of learning and education, a lot of workplace learning teams and a lot of organizations aren't focused on equipping people with these skills either, because they mostly look at it from conversations that I've had as something that those people should be doing and discovering on their own. But we need to reverse that a bit, because actually we do need to help people recognize what are the skills they are going to need to succeed in your company today, but also for their career. And we have a responsibility for that. And we really should be concerned about this, but why is that? Because lifelong employability relies upon the development of basic digital skills in our population. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the biggest driver of many of today's organizations' digital transformations has been the pandemic. Everyone for years and years and years, and loads of kind of business strategies of saying, we'll be driving a digital transformation. It never happened, but the biggest factor is now being COVID. So for most people, one Tuesday morning, you'd probably never heard of tools like Zoom. Yet by the Wednesday afternoon after the pandemic hit, you were probably screaming at your screen trying to get it to unmute your audio. A perfect example of new tools coming in and people not being prepared with the skills. And we can also look to the explosion of collaborative tech such as Microsoft Teams and Slack, which has really helped speed up the demand for digital skills. But for me, it wasn't like that we didn't need to get better at this before the pandemic. The problem is that now we have no choice but to do something about this. A year ago, most people thought they could get away with not knowing how to share and collaborate with files on something as simple as OneDrive. But in today's reality, we now have no choice. The acquisition and continual development of digital skills for many of us will determine our long-term employability options, because we live in a skills economy, and having the best skills is going to pay the bills. I love how that rhymes. But anyway, before we crack on further, let me just take a step back and define digital skills and what I mean by baseline digital skills. So for me, baseline digital skills or basic digital skills is having a proficiency with just common tools. So things like Microsoft Office, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, being able to do basic tasks with those tools. Again, using tools like OneDrive to securely share files, to collaborate on files at the same time. If you are listening to this and you are sharing files on Outlook and putting attachments on there, shame on you. It hurts me to hear you are doing that. Invest in understanding how to use cloud sharing tools. It will change your life, whether it's Microsoft Office, whether it's G Suite or Dropbox, it doesn't matter what it is. Invest in that and it will really help you. Again, really basic stuff, how to use Slack, how to email. That is baseline digital skills. It is not anything that people shouldn't know. It's going to help you, doesn't matter what you do in your career. It will help you get far in any field you're going to go into, whether you're starting off in your career, whether you're 20 years into your career now. These are the things that we're always going to need to know. If you keep investing in these, if you think of it like kind of stock market for your skills, investing in things like Excel, Word and PowerPoint are going to yield massive benefits for you in the years to come when you're looking to move roles to different companies. And advanced digital skills are stuff that we would class as having a pretty good knowledge across a range of kind of different digital technologies. So as an example, if you are a software engineer and you are coding, if you're a data scientist, those kind of people, those are the top level that 90% of us don't use in our day-to-day. They are specialized, hence why they are advanced. What we're looking at is the basic stuff that everyone should know. Is going to help their career and is going to help with lifelong employability. So hopefully that gives you a real kind of crux of what I'm talking about when we say basic digital skills. And very soon now, and I'm talking months, not years, our digital skills and basically our whole digital mindset, if you want to call it, will determine who can get the best jobs. So like my example earlier on, looking at like an investment plan, making sure you're investing in the right skills and benefiting from that later on. And it applies to all skill levels and all seniority roles. As I say, it doesn't matter if you just start in your career. It doesn't matter if you are a senior leader right now, 25 years into the game. You need to know how to do this stuff. One, to continue to have a relevant skill set in today's world, and also to work with people who have these skills. There's loads of people coming into the workforce now, different generations who have got these skills. And one thing that's always struck me, if I want to focus on senior leaders in general, is that I've always had a shock at the lack of how digital savvy they are. For like kind of course my whole 15-year career, I've just been amazed how little they understand basic digital tools and actually have no curiosity for that. And that alarms me because, I want to see those people continue to have a career and be able to do what they want to do. But having an opinion of not needing to invest because of a job title is not going to help you. And as I say, when I say savvy here, I'm not talking about coding in Python. I'm talking about basic functions like using a pivot table in Excel, being able to put together a PowerPoint presentation, sending a message on Slack. It's not record breaking, And the current market really shows us just how big the demand is for digital skills in today's career. Let me give you an example from the UK market. So right now, over 75% of job openings at different skill levels of high, medium and low request digital skills in their job descriptions. And to bring that all together, digital skills are required in at least 85% of all online advertised openings across the UK right now, which is staggering. So this shows if you don't have baseline digital skills right now, gonna be in for some trouble. And you're probably thinking, now this is all great, but what are some of the popular or trending things I should be investing in? And that's a really good question. So there was some great data that was put together by the UK government and one of their partners called Burning Glass. So it was Burning Glass and the Department for Digital Culture and Media, who basically went out and did a bunch of research and found out that a lot of the companies in the UK market, what they're looking for in terms of their top 4 skills, and it shouldn't be a surprise, is proficiency with Excel, Office, PowerPoint, and Word. Again, not groundbreaking. If we go back to my investment portfolio example, from their research, they have projected, as an example, the growth for skills in Microsoft Excel is going to jump in the next 5 years by another 25%. So an output you can take from today is, if you're not great at Excel, get out there and find out how to get great at Excel, because actually in 5 years time, over the next 5 years, that is going to prove really beneficial for you. And just continuing to invest, day by day, week by week, doing your research, nothing crazy, looking at blogs, keeping up to date with new features that are coming out, and understanding how to use this stuff is really going to help you. And this leads me on nicely to kind of the last section of this little chat today. So what can we all do about this? What can you do about this specifically? So there's a couple of things. Be more curious. Get out into your workforce, if you're an L&D team or HR team, find out about current capabilities of digital skills. Are your people aware of existing workplace tech today? Do they know how to make the most of it? And very importantly, is lack of know-how stopping delivery in a business? Because it's not just a priority for productivity of your business, but also in helping these people build skills that's going to enable them to have a long and rewarding career with you and in their overall life. And then for yourself, so it doesn't matter what industry you're in, take a real honest and hard look at your own skills now. Do what I call a skills check and ask yourself what I call the 3 E's. So what's expiring in your skill set? What do you need to evolve from your skills now? And what are emerging skills that you can add into your kind of ecosystem of skills that's really going to help you continue to stand out in the market and build the career you want? Again, what I said before, if you can't use pivot tables, even basic pivot tables in Excel, now is the time, my friends, to start investing in this. And a bonus on top of this, because it's my podcast and I can promote my stuff from my own site, I have put together a free digital skills toolkit, which you can find at stillthesefaults.com/digital skills. And the reason why I did this is because I am super passionate about raising the awareness to people with digital skills and making sure they can access those resources easily. So what I've done is taken a bit of the pain out, created a simple page where you can find links to a bunch of resources and suppliers who provide content on digital skills. I will endeavor to update that every month where possible. And there's loads of stuff on there from Google Digital Garage, from Microsoft, and loads of other organizations as well who are providing free content that people can access at any point and build your skills. And look at like an evolving library. I'll continue to update it when I can. And you can contribute as well. There's a contribute button at the bottom. So you want to get involved in that, please do. Say, look, now I've shared all this stuff with you. You've heard about the data. You've heard about some of the problems that we have with digital skills. You can implement these things already, go forth with these kind of newfound tools that I've spoken to you about, file off the robots, and figure out how to make better use of digital tools that you have today. And as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, make sure to check out the video on the digital skills crisis, maybe you could call it that, but my digital skills video on YouTube, and it's also available on that digital skills page on the Still These Thoughts as well. And that's everything today. If you enjoyed this podcast, if it's been helpful, reach out to me on the Twitterverse, reach out to me on LinkedIn, let me know your thoughts, give this podcast a rating on whatever platform you're listening on right now. It really helps get this content to other people. If it has created value for you, I'd love other people to get that same value from it too. As always, do subscribe if you like it. I try and do these as frequently as possible, but basically ends up when I have something to say. Check out stillthesefaults.com. All my content is there as always. And if you're really curious, want to hear more stuff from me, every week on a Tuesday morning, I share a newsletter on loads of stuff around learning, education, and technology. And you can sign up for that at stillthesefaults.com as well. But that is everything from me. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you've got value. I will speak to you in the next one.